He was a man of passion and grace until he was cursed for eternity.
Naughty, wicked Spike.
Now,
the pain, it's searing, blinding.
love brings two enemies together.
Something's happening to me. Can't stop thinking about you.
A vampire and a slayer. It wouldn't be the first time.
You can't deny it. There's something between us.
Spike.
A special Buffy Valentine.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James, and Skype fucking sucks, and I'm glad this will be the last episode we're using it to record.
Fucking A right, Bubba, because this thing's a turd. Just really quick, this week we will be jumping into season 5.
We will be
jumping into season 5, episode 14, Crush.
I like how you're like, just real quick. That's the whole point why we're here, dude.
Well, no, because I wanted to get back into... I wanted to jump back to Skype sucking and the fact that last week's episode decided to stop recording like halfway through. And so, YouTube viewers will see that there was no video for last week's episode, but that we indeed do have, well, so far it's recording for this week's episode.
After the third attempt.
Yeah, true. But yeah, this will be our last go round with Skype. So we just have 2 more episodes to get through after this one with Skype, and then we can suck each other's dicks somewhere else.
Whoa, wait, 2 more after this one to get through with Skype?
Well, yeah, remember we got tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're gonna make me pull the curtain back. God
damn, I forgot. I forgot we were recording tomorrow again.
Oh, wow.
Even though we literally just talked about it like 3 minutes ago.
Right, yeah, and you've forgotten. Well, I mean, I'll be surprised if we make it through the whole first part of this show without you leaving half the shit out. So,
hey, I didn't forget anything last week.
I'm pretty sure that you have dementia.
I don't have dementia, but I do apparently owe you a public apology because you were correct. And what, 3 episodes ago now? 4 episodes ago? Checkpoint?
It would have been episode 12.
So, Checkpoint, I did misspeak the director's name. It was not Jack Mark. It was Nick Mark. So,
I just want to know where Jack came from. Like why Jack came out of your mouth. Like, were you thinking about jacking off or Jack in the Box? Dude, you were hungry? I don't know.
Dude, like, how many episodes now have I just like completely forgotten either the Nielsen rating or
everything? Or, you're like, we'll be jumping into da-da-da. And then you're like, so the cold open, we go into and I'm like, what the fuck? You just skipped like 20 minutes of shit.
Oh, man. Well, what can I say? It's all the drugs, okay?
Well, with that in mind, why don't you fuck up some shit and cook us up some half-done dates and deets.
I will feed these dates and deets to you fucking raw.
Uncooked and with salmonella.
Uncooked and with salmonella, but still approved by the FDA because we don't do checks anymore.
That's right.
What's the best way? What's the best way to stop calculating bird flu cases? Let's not check the contaminated milk.
just quit counting.
Right. As previously stated, we will be slurping into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 5, Episode 14, our 92nd episode of the series overall, Crush. Our credited episode writer this week is David Fury, and our director is Daniel Adius. Our
Jack
original
Adius.
broadcast... What?
Jack Adius.
Jack Adius.
Now, all directors' names is always Jack. Excuse me.
You need some water? Some water? We're just going to take a drink break real quick while Jeremy recovers.
Woo! That was interesting. So yeah.
Do you know how our YouTube views would spike if you died on camera?
Dude, and I swear, if that happened and you didn't upload the episode, I would haunt you forever. Okay.
That's good. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the video of you saying that just now as my evidence that you are okay with me publicly posting your demise.
Yes, 100%. I'll even I'll write it in my will.
Beautiful.
That if I die on camera, I demand James upload it to YouTube.
Beautiful. Our original air date was February 13th, 2001 on the now defunct WB network. Huh?
What?
Our regular cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brendan as Xander, Allison Hannigan as Willow, Emma Caulfield as Anya, Michelle Trachtenberg as Dawn, James Marsters as Spike, and Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Our guest stars this week include Mercedes McNabb as Harmony, Charlie Weber as Ben, Amber Benson as Tara, Juliet Landau making her long-awaited return as Drusilla, Christine Sutherland as Joyce, and Walter Borchet as Jeff, and Joseph Giandomenico as Mutt.
The Giant D'Amico. I like that.
The Giant Domenico. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? Joey Dominican. That's his name.
Joey the Greek over here. That's what we'll call him from now on.
Our Nielsen rating for this episode, where did it go? Crushed 3.3, ranking it 88 out of the 135 primetime shows airing across network television that week, and number 3 out of the 17 primetime shows airing on the WB for that week. My episode synopsis this week reads, Buffy rebuffs Spike after he makes a declaration of love, driving him into the waiting arms of his former lover, Drusilla.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Mine reads, Buffy learns that Spike has a crush on her. A situation made all the more dangerous by Drusilla's return to Sunnydale.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Oh my. You really should just put George Takei doing the oh my on your soundboard.
Yeah, I probably should. Yeah.
So we open on the Rebronze, which is reopening after being repaired after the destruction caused in Triangle by Olaf the Troll. Buffy is lovingly gazing upon her frolicking friends on the dance floor at the Bronze when that dirty pervert Spike shows up and ruins everybody's fucking day.
Is that really what happens?
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what my notes say.
Your notes are bullshit and stupid.
He tries to discuss the new bar menu with her. He's upset because the flower onion is gone.
The bloomin' onion?
And legal reasons means they can't call it a bloomin' onion.
Right, but I call it a bloomin' onion because I have no legal stupidity hanging over my head. This is our podcast, and I will say what I want when I want.
What if I mute you?
That's not very nice.
And Buffy is, of course, confused by the fact that he seems to be carrying on a normal conversation with her. Willow reveals that she's still suffering from nosebleeds and headaches as a result of the spells she used to teleport Glory away in the previous episode. And then Ben is spotted by the Buffster across the bronze, and she goes over and thanks him for looking after Dawn, and they're getting a little flirty with each other, a little flirty. And yeah, they are. And I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it's happening.
Ben is very Ben's like a twink. You know, he kind of is.
I like Ben more than Riley.
Well, fuck, I like anal polyps more than Riley, but I mean, that's like being the nicest guy in prison.
And then we cut to the Sunnydale train station, and a train pulls in, but nobody gets off, at which point the conductor hops onto the train and sees that all the passengers are dead, at which point he is also attacked. Wolf howl, wolf howl, roll credits. That's our cold open. That's one of our dude. That's what our new theme song should have been. It just should have been you and I going. Copyright that, bitch.
Yeah. So Buffy goes home, and from the little R&R there at Bronze and at the Bronze, and Giles is basically there babysitting Dawn and Mama Summers, and of course Mama Summers, being the idiot that she is, immediately says, "Oh, I'm so glad you're home, Buffy. I didn't feel safe at all while you were gone." And Giles is like, "Wow, okay. Well, I'm just gonna fucking set this place on fire as I leave." Because
if I was Giles and Buffy was like, "Hey, Giles, can you please watch after my mom and Dawn while I go out to the Bronze to have a little R&R?" I would have been like, "Sorry, Buffy, why don't you ask someone who's family?"
Exactly. That sounds like a family thing to me, Buffy.
Right.
I'll be at my pimp pad spanking myself with a leather paddle.
Right. And then we do a Family Guy style cut to Giles and his pimp pad, and he's just like, "Daddy.
He's in all leather. So, no, but she does say that, and it's just like, why does everybody treat Giles like such shit in this show?
Right.
He is the literal.
Best
he's
character.
The smartest. He's the one who's always not an idiot. Like he's literally the best character, and yet everyone always shits on him. So, anyway, he does fuck off and leaves the bitches at House fucking Summers to burn. Then we cut to the sorry. I had a little cough there. I had to mute out. We cut to the mausoleum. Oh, my throat's starting to give out. Sorry. And Spike's pad. And he's got fucking Harmony dressed up as Buffy. Going around being like, "I'm going to get you and I'm going to stake you so good," and blah, 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 so that he can fuck Buffy, basically. The sex game.
Yeah.
And Harmony goes along with it, which makes me so, I don't know. Harmony takes one step forward and 8 steps back, like every episode.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Then Buffy, they're in the Buffy, Willow, and Tara are come out of class, and they're yakking about fucking Quasimodo and shit. And Buffy sees somebody reading a newspaper and sees the front of him, and she's like, "Are you done with that?" And she just snatches it from him. And he's like, "Wow, thief, bitch." And she's reading about the train situation, the moitas on the train. And she's like, "Yeah, this ain't Glory. This is definitely a vampire." Then they're like, "Oh, it's just a vampire? No need for an episode then." Credits.
Great.
And
Credits. Arg. So, Jeremy, tell me how many
how many args do you get?
How many args do you give this episode?
So then we cut to Buffy returning to the house of Hooers. And I'm sorry, her house. And yes, are you waving at me? I'm sorry.
There's a mosquito.
Oh, I thought maybe you farted and you were trying to fan the stench away.
No.
Okay.
I don't fart.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, me neither. Never have.
No.
Never have. So yeah, she gets there and she gets home and Mama Summers is like, "Dawn," and I'm like, she came in and said something like, "Why?" When she said something, when she came in, she said something like, so it's clearly not fucking Dawn. And Buffy's like, "No, dumb deaf bitch, it's your other daughter." And she's like, "Dawn's not home. She didn't come home from school. I'm so scared maybe Glory ate her." And Buffy's like, "Well, if she did, I mean, hey, problem solved, right?" Then she goes to bed. No,
gets a full 8 hours.
It's a full 8 hours. Starts a nice fresh day the next day. No, she's like, "All right, I'll go find her." And we cut to a huge fire inside of Sunnydale fire department.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So no, Buffy's like, I'll find her. And where does she go? Where do we cut to next? What's the next scene? I can't remember. Because Dawn hasn't gotten to his.
No, it is. Yeah, we cut to Spike's crypt.
Okay. And Dawn arrives.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why you here, bitch?" And she's like, I'm hanging and banging, yo." Oh, by the way, what the fuck is with Spike's wardrobe in this episode? He's wearing these like Genko jean, like black pant, like these huge fucking skater pants. He's got this weird like leather bomber jacket, this weird shirt, this black. I don't know. It's so fucking weird and it's so not him. It's like that one episode, I think in season 1 or season 2 of Buffy when they tried to fuck with Angel's wardrobe, remember? And we just ragged about it the whole episode. Like, what were they doing?
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things.
I feel like so it's never stated like in story, but my theory is that it was an attempt by Spike to be less I don't want to say to be less himself, but I feel like it was Spike's attempt at like changing up his clothing a little bit to be more appealing to Buffy. Does that make sense?
To like look hip and younger?
Like less bad boy, I guess.
Yeah, like look hip and younger.
Sure, whatever.
I mean, I don't think his plan was to look dumb and goofy.
I'm just saying. That's my theory.
Okay. I can go with it. It's weird because it's never brought up. And this is normally something someone in the show would be like, what are you doing? Like you literally wear the same pants, shirt, and coat every episode. Now all of a sudden you look like a 90s Genco commercial. Like what's what's going on here? But so Dawn's there and yada yada. They start yakking, and he's telling her a spooky story. And or wait, did we cut away?
No, you're right.
Well, I know that he does, but I feel like we had a cut. All right, whatever.
No.
He's telling her a spooky story and whatnot, and it's clearly going to climax in some nasty fucking murder shit right when fucking Buffy arrives. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And she's like, I was hanging out with Spike. He's cooler than any of you fuckers. And I'm like, she's kind of right there. So then she makes Spike finish the story in front of her, and he like changes it to, and then I found the little girl in the coal bin and gave her to a family that loved her and never treated her badly. And so then she's like, get your shit, we're getting out of here. And her and Dawn leave, and Buffy realizes by the way Dawn's talking that she's got a crush on Spike. And then, so she thinks it's kind of funny. Well, then fucking Dawn lets her know, well, it doesn't matter because he's clearly in love with you. And fucking Buffy has a meltdown. And I'm like, really? Really? No one in the show has put this together yet with all the things he's done and said that he's clearly in puppy love with fucking Buffy. But apparently Dawn's the only one that has enough firing brain cells to put this together. Then we cut to the next day, and Buffy and Xander are investigating the train where the murders took place, which they can literally just walk into. No problem. No police presence whatsoever. They get in there and they talk about it, and she informs him that Spike is into her, and Xander thinks it's hilarious and blah, blah, blah. But then he gets shitty because he finds out that Dawn's now got a crush on Spike, and it's supposed to be only on him. And I'm like,
which is like, why does this dude keep getting like, he's either bragging about or getting upset about the fact that a 14-year-old girl has or does not have a crush on him?
Well, remember that he has the mentality of a 14-year-old. So, it kind of makes sense.
And it is, and as we've discussed, even I never read them, but I know that one of the major plot points of the officially canon comic continuation of the series is that Xander and Dawn eventually end up together.
Yeah, they get married and they have a kid, and
yeah,
it's very creepy. And what's even weirder is one of his sexual fetishes in the comics is to have her finger his eye hole.
Oh my God. Spoilers.
Oh shit, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, so they're like, she's like, okay, well, there's nothing here. Let's fuck off. And they do. And of course the camera immediately pans just above eyesight. And you see one of those creepy dolls that Drusilla always had around. So nobody bothered looking above like face fucking level. So they're shitty investigators, put it that way. So Buffy gets home, and Mom and Sis are talking in the kitchen and giggling and stuff. And who is it with them? It's Spike. And I hate when I see any show, where someone's sitting on the counter, because it grosses me out. And I'm like, that's where we prepare food, and you just had your ass there. I would like you to never come to my house ever again. Thank you. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. So
no one cares.
Yeah, no. Buffy's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, I'm always here. I'm a creep. And she's like,
I'm
oh, yeah.
I'm a Frogger.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm stalking you as I have been literally all season. And no one has put this together but the 14-year-old. So he's like, oh, I've got some information on the vamps that did the train thing, and they're holed up in a place downtown. And I'm like, downtown? Sunnydale's not that fucking big. Like, you know.
Downtown, where all the lights are bright downtown. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Wow.
Sorry.
They have a downtown. That's just odd to me.
Every town has a downtown.
Well, no. No. That's not really.
Yeah.
No. That's not actually true, but anyway, fine. Sunnydale has a downtown. Even though it's like 4 square miles, it's got a downtown. So she's like, okay, and he's like, well, get your shit and let's get. And she's like, all right, I'll be right there, but I gotta take a dump first. And he's like, all right, I'll wait outside the door and listen. And she's like, oh, and he's really getting No. Okay.
No.
So she's like, oh, that's a Slayer size one right there. Woo! So they go and we cut to them in Spike's car. And they're like parked out in this alley, like camping out, staking out this place where these vamps supposedly are. And he goes to reach over to the glove box at one point, and she's like, whoa! And he's like, what the fuck? And all he's doing is getting a flask out, which he drinks from, and he offers to her, and she's like, ooh. And he's like, it's not blood, it's fucking bourbon. And she's like, ooh. And he's like, what a nerd. He's like, yeah, I can't even get this chick drunk. Ugh, how am I going to score? And he's like, oh, wait. I have fucking Bill Cosby on speed dial. So they're yakking about stupid shit, and nerd vampires come back, and so they get out of the car and they go after nerd.
So hold on, he's asking her like what kind of music she likes, and like the whole thing is just very like
goofy.
Like it's goofy, but like when like Buffy is like totally unnerved by it, and like the vibe is very much like they're on some sort of weird perverted version of a date.
Yeah. Well, and he starts singing a Ramones song at one point, and he's like, you like the Ramones?
Right.
Hell yeah.
And Buffy's like, the Who? What?
Yeah, then he's like, fuck me. I cannot date someone that does not know who the fucking Ramones are. So yeah, the nerds get back. They go out. They go in. The nerd vampires are like, Slayer. And then they both literally turn around and run the fuck out of there. And Buffy's like, what the fuck? They've been here for a long time. You can tell they've been nesting. And Spike is like, oh, my bad. And then she puts it together and she's like, is this like, she's like, you've wasted my time. She goes to leave, but he runs in front of her and opens the door for her. And she's like, what
let me ask you a question though.
All right.
Why? And maybe I'm about to answer my own question. What is the correlation between the vampires having been there long enough to clearly be nesting, and that automatically meaning they must not be the ones who killed the people on the train? Is that solely because, in theory, the people killed on the train were killed as the train was coming into Sunnydale? So it couldn't have been vampires that were already nesting in Sunnydale?
I suppose that's really the only uh, explanation that makes any sense, because otherwise, yeah, it could have been literally any vampire. I don't care if they're nesting or not, if they're new to town or been in town for 10 fucking years, but yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. I wasn't sure.
Well, now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So then Buffy puts it all together and she's like, what the fuck? In your twisted, ate up fucking mind, is this some kind of you think this is some kind of a date? And he's like, what? Yes. And she's like, oh my God, that's a Saga Ross. And yeah, so then they have this big thing about, they go back and forth, and he's like, but I love you. And she's like, you're Saga Ross. And I don't know. It's weird. And he's like, well, but you've loved the vampire before. And she's like, well, Angel had a soul. And he's like, well, but I got a chip.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, you're right. Let's fall in love.
Right. And she sucks his dick right there.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. She sucks his dick right there. Nothing like saying I love you like a on the spot vampire nest blowjob. So then we cut back to Spike returning to his crypt, and he's all butthurt and crying and hitting himself in the head. And stupid. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Stupid. And who's there waiting for him? James, go ahead and tell us and take over.
It's Angel.
And he's completely nude.
And he's completely naked.
He has a raging fucking erection.
Yep. And he's like, Spike, I had to come back to Sunnydale and tell you that I've always loved you. And then
Spike is
Spike immediately drops to his knees and sucks his dick right there.
Spike is like, okay, but if you just wanted to come back to town to tell me you love me, why are you completely naked and with a raging erection?
And then Spike sucks his dick right there.
Right then and right there.
Right. No, it's Drusilla. And she informs him of, so just brief, little insight for people who are new or whatnot. Concurrently over on Angel, Darla and Drusilla have been a part of the storyline over on Angel right now. So Drusilla is now back in Sunnydale, and she is recounting events going on in LA to Spike in order to try and entice him to return to LA with her. He's not into it. He's basically like, I don't know, the LA scene didn't really agree with me the last time I was there. Of course, the last time he was there, Angel kicked his ass.
Right, and it was the height of the AIDS epidemic.
It was the height of the AIDS epidemic, sure. So she's apparently fully aware of the chip in his noggin, and
I can see it in your brain. I hate her so much.
And convinces him that even with the chip, he can still be evil. And at that point, Harmony shows up and starts laying into Drusilla for hurting Spike. And Spike basically kicks Harmony out of the crypt, and he's like, yeah, Drusilla's back, but so am I, baby. And then right. And then we cut to the Summers home, and Joyce and Willow and Buffy are talking about the fact that Spike has confessed his love to her. And I hate this because fucking Joyce is like, well, did you do something to...
Yeah, gaslighting the shit out of her.
Right, like, did you do something or say something?
Signals? Were you grabbing his pecker when he was hanging out with you?
Right, Joyce is like, did you get on your knees and suck his dick? Because that could definitely give a guy the wrong impression.
Because that's how you and father and I got together, you see.
Right.
And that's why we're no longer together, because when I got in my 30s, he was more interested in like 14-year-olds. Right. So he left me.
She's like, did you suck his dick? Because unless you take money for that could give him the wrong impression. And no. But
never take a check for that. Never.
Right. Never take a check, and don't trust a gold card either.
Right.
No, but seriously, she's like, well, did you send him signals and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah.
It just irritated the fuck out of me.
I'm so glad she dies soon. What?
And they're basically like, you have to make it crystal clear to this motherfucker that there's nothing going on between you. And Buffy's like, you know what? You're right. I should definitely go back and see him to make sure he knows I don't want to see him ever again.
Right.
And then she's like, but I need you to do something for me while I'm doing that.
Could you suck my mom's dick?
Right. And Willow's like, all right. And she gets on her knees and licks Joyce's vagina.
And Joyce pulls out one of the biggest, fattest dicks I've ever fucking seen. It's like, whoa.
There's something fucking wrong with us.
You think?
Man. Every week when I look at the views on YouTube, I'm like, how do this many people even watch this?
Who would even make it past the first 10 minutes? Right. And not like, these guys they're mentally deranged.
Right. Like, if I wasn't involved in this podcast and I started watching it, and like within the first 15 minutes, you haven't even started talking about the episode, but instead you're talking about lactose-free milk, I would be like, no, I'm not going any further than this.
I've had it. I'm going to favorite this.
And then if I did make it past the lactose-free milk, as soon as
talking about
sucking dicks, I'm
especially Buffy's mom's dick.
Right, like I'm out.
What
do you mean there's people on fire and fucking? What is going on? What are they talking about?
What is wrong with these two? I need to favorite this and come back to it later.
I'm gonna I want to watch every episode that they put out of this shit show.
I think the same thing too when I look at the view count and shit of the audio, and I'm like, dude, there's fucking people from like 11 different countries listening to this. What is wrong with those people? like what? Really? What's wrong with you guys? Are you guys? Is everything at home okay with you guys?
Are you guys all right? We're gonna take a minute at the end of the episode to address this.
Yeah, we're gonna give the 1-800 number for like suicide prevention and fucking like every 1-800 help me number that we can find. We're gonna get into this
suicide prevention, alcohol addiction,
gambling addiction,
drug addiction, gambling, and necrophilia. If you're addicted to cracking open a cold one, and I'm not talking about drinking, we'll give you an 800 number for that.
Yep.
1-800. So
Book them till you cook them.
Where you slay them, we lay them. So we cut to the bronze, and Spike and Drew are doing some sexy dancing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she's sucking his dick right on the dance floor.
She was. And I was like, Daddy.
And I had sauerkraut and mayonnaise coming out of my face.
God. So then Drew sees a couple up on the catwalk area of the bronze. Which after that fucking collapsed, wouldn't you build something sturdier?
Or not only that, but if you look closely, like when they first go into the bronze was it this episode? Whatever, during the reopening of the bronze, and they give a nice big wide shot. It's not just one big balcony now, it's like several balconies up there now, like several separate platforms, and they're all built just as shoddily as the original.
Right.
Like this did not pass inspection. That I guarantee it.
Right. Xander was probably involved with the construction of it.
Exactly.
So yeah, she spots a couple on the catwalk, and they mosey their way up there and get up behind them, and Drew snaps the girl's neck and tosses her to
out.
And so Drew snaps the girl's neck and tosses her to Spike before she grabs the dude and sinks her teeth into him. And Spike hesitates for a moment, and then he vamps out and digs in to this dead young lady.
Dead girl's dick. It's so weird.
Wow.
Living dead girl.
Don't ever be sorry for invoking the name of our Lord and Savior Rob Zombie.
Rombize.
Oh shit. So then we cut to Spike's crypt, to which Buffy arrives to reiterate to him that she never wants to see him again, and that there's nothing happening between them of any sort of romantic nature.
Yeah.
And she doesn't see anything, but she spots that little crawl space opening in the floor. So she decides to go down there and see what's going on.
She decides to snoop in someone's private living quarters.
Right. And that's how they got John Wayne Gacy.
Or death quarters, I mean, depending on how you look at it.
Right. That's how they railroaded John Wayne Gacy, too.
Exactly. Leave the guy's fucking crawl space alone.
Right. It's his crawl space.
No crimes.
Right. It's his crawl space.
Yeah.
What?
Ain't no crime if there ain't no body, bro.
Right. He can do what he wants with that crawl space.
Yeah. It's his. He pays his taxes. He's an upstanding man. He dresses as a clown for little kids' parties.
Right.
I mean, what are we doing?
He's an artist.
He's an artist. Exactly. What are we doing?
Yeah. What are we doing here? Just randomly raiding people's crawl spaces.
And how do you know those bodies they weren't there when he bought the place?
Right. Right.
Fuck off.
Come on. So Buffy goes down there and finds an entire fucking Buffy Summers shrine that Spike has built. And she tries to skedaddle out of there, toot sweet, and finds Spike and Drew waiting for her. And Drusilla fucking cattle prods that bitch.
Yeah. And I'm like, of course, me being me, my first thought was, where the fuck did you get a cattle prod? Like they swing by the rodeo on the way home and get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's even any farms in Sunnydale. So where'd the fucking cattle prod come?
Right.
That's just me being me.
So of course Buffy collapses after being hit with like 10,000 volts. And
but you notice she screamed a little bit. She's like, ah, when she goes down, like she's used to it.
Right.
Like, ah!
Right. The weird part is the weird part is when she like let out that little moan. It wasn't just a moan. She was like, she got zapped and she was like, Giles. I was like, what? What?
And you're like, whoa,
whoa, ew.
I kind of like that.
Oh, right. I was like, oh, I don't. Well, actually,
Honestly, if I'm being honest,
I like it. So at that point, Drusilla turns to Spike. And he takes the cattle prod from her and zaps her with it.
By the way, let me just break in here really quick, and I want to make sure that if we're going to get canceled, it's going to be for something good. Did you know that there is what is that shit called? I'm
so afraid of I'm so afraid about what's about to happen.
That there is fan fiction. What is it called when it's like porn fanfic? Isn't there another name for it?
/fic.
/fic. I knew there was. It's been years. I didn't remember the term. It's been years since I wrote it. There are. There is.
And Duncan slowly unbuttoned Mythos's shirt
with his teeth.
With his teeth.
No, they're /fic. Like a whole. At least back in the day there was, maybe it doesn't exist anymore. There's a whole genre of /fic that's what's the word I'm looking for? It's devoted completely to Giles and Buffy as lovers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like,
yeah.
Wow, there are some people that do have, like, you'll never know it. They'll, die one day and no one will ever know, but they have some fucked up thoughts,
Yeah.
and it's like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So even worse than that, and you're not familiar with the show, but there's a whole sub fandom of Supernatural fans who not only
where the two brothers are lovers.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
They're called.
You told me that when you got done writing the last one.
Yeah. They fucking call themselves, because the brother's last name is Winchester,
right?
On the show, they call themselves Wincesters.
Wow, that's kind of clever, but very creepy.
It's clever as hell, but also fucked up as shit.
Wow, that is more fucked up than at least Giles and Buffy aren't fucking siblings. Jesus.
Right. So then Buffy wakes up and she's chained up back down in that underground part of Spike's crypt. And Drusilla is also tied to a pole, tied up across from her. And what is happening, Jeremy?
Well, she just got done sucking Spike's dick. No,
Spike is standing in the middle between the two of them, completely naked, just going to town on himself.
Yeah. And they're both already covered in 2 to 3 layers. And he's like, yep. And there's like 5 to 6 empty Gatorade bottles. He's like, I'm fucking keeping up the goddamn thirst, baby. And going to hell. So basically he's trying to convince Buffy that his love for her is real. And I'm like, well, clearly it is. You KO'd her and now you have her chained to your dungeon wall. Like, what else do you have to do to make this bitch understand you love her?
Exactly.
So
like, how hard is it? Why can't women just understand that when you kidnap them and chain them in your home, you love them? Oh, sorry.
So, and she's like, no, you're just a psycho. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he has like these fits and shit. And he's like, all right, I'll prove it to you once and for all. And he grabs a stake and he goes over and puts it against Drusilla's chest. And he's like, I'll kill Drusilla. And Buffy's like, okay. Like, all right. And he's like, No, you don't understand. She's means everything to me. She made me, and she blah, 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 and he's like, and I'll kill her. And Buffy's like, yeah, okay. I still don't care. And he's like, fuck. And he has a shit fit, another shit fit. And
well, no. And and he's like, listen, if you don't tell me you love me, if you don't love me back, I will untie Drusilla and I will let her fucking kill you.
Yeah, well, then he changes it and says, okay, you know what? If you don't give me something to go to tell me that at least that there might be a chance someday, I'm just going to kill you both.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, well, right about then, you hear something go into Spike's back, and he spins around, and it's Harmony with a crossbow. And it looks like that arrow just barely missed his heart. So he goes down, and then she's like, I'm back, bitch. And this time, I'm not dressing up like Buffy. And they start having fisticuffs. And Buffy and Drew both start working at their bonds while the two idiots are fighting. I love this one point where Harmony's like, you're on my hair.
Yeah.
I love Harmony. And then Drusilla gets free first, and she runs over to Buffy, and she's going to off Buffy. And because Buffy can't get out of the chains, so he chains up the Slayer with chains, but for the killer vampire, he just used a few fucking like shoestrings around a pole.
Yeah.
But then he saves the day at the last moment and knocks Drusilla to the ground, like fucks her up, hurries up and unchains Buffy. And Drusilla's like, wow, you're fucked up. Even I can't help you. Deuces. And she bounces. And then Harmony's got this funny little speech where she's like, you're not going to see this anymore, points to her ass. And then she's like, unless you see me out in public, and then I'll back away from you. And so she backs away out of the scene. And Spike looks at Buffy, and she does what she should do, which is uppercut him into the lower stratosphere. And she fucks off. And she's out in the streets walking home, and here comes Spike running up to her. And he's trying to convince her that they've got, this thing we have, it's something real, man. It's fucking real. Like, didn't you feel it when I had you chained up in my crypt? It's real, brah. And she's like, fuck you. Stay away from me, all of my friends, and my family. And he's like, you can't just shut me out like that. And she walks in her front door, and he goes to walk in behind her, and so the invitation has been withdrawn. That's what she wanted Willow to do for her while she was gone. And she closes the door on his face. Credits episode.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm sure you noticed this, Jeremy, and probably even read about it in when you were researching for the episode. But this episode works as like the reverse of the episode Angel. If so Buffy was surprised to find out that Angel, the man she's in love with, is a vampire, and she voluntarily fights Darla, who wanted to reestablish a relationship with Angel. And then Darla is finally dusted by Angel, her ex-lover, and Buffy invites him into her home. In this episode, Buffy's repulsed to discover that Spike, the vampire she hates, is in love with her. She involuntarily fights against Drusilla, who wants to reestablish her relationship with her ex, Spike, and Spike tries to dust Drew to demonstrate his love for the Slayer, and then Buffy ends up uninviting Spike from her home. So it's kind of the antithesis of the Angel episode.
And when she closes the door on his face at the end, it's because she has a turtle head and she runs to the bathroom because she has to take a huge Slayer dump.
Right. I like how when I try to take it serious, you just like reel it right back into.
Yeah, I'm not interested in seriousness.
Yeah. That's great. Jeremy, would you like to play everybody's favorite game, Body Count?
Shoes. Oh, fuck. There's no way. Because I don't know how many people were on that train. 9.
You know what? I'm going to give it to you. It's close. So I'm going to say you win. It's actually 8. So congratulations, buddy. Congratulations.
I'm that damn good.
Our music this week, Johann Brahms with Hungarian Dance No. 5, Devix with Key, James Marsters, I Want to Be Sedated.
Yep.
Summer Camp with Happy, Summer Camp with Play It By Ear, and Thomas Wanker with our original score.
Little Dickie Wanker.
Little Dickie Wanker. Let's see. Do I have anything else here? No, not really. Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you please tell me, on our scale of 1 to 5, how many Miss Ediths do you give this episode? That was the name of the doll. That was Miss Edith, by the way, that she left on the train.
Well, she didn't care too much for Miss Edith, did she?
She didn't. No.
Fucking stupid bitch. It's like a 2.5. Not a big fan. There's just way too much. There's way too much rapiness. There's way too much stalkiness. There's way too much gaslighting. There's just way too much Joss Whedon in this episode. Honestly, it's a cringy, creepy. Like back in the 90s, very early 2000s, a lot of this would have just been accepted because that's how stupid we all were. But now, watching it now in 2025, it's like, ugh. So, and even if you take all that shitty stuff out of it, it's not really that interesting of an episode. It's really not. I mean, it's Spike being a pathetic wanker. It's Buffy doing exactly what she should be doing and being like, get the fuck away from me, you creepy bastard. And I don't know. It's meh. Like they make this big deal about Drusilla. Like, oh shit, Drusilla's back in town. She massacres a train load when she gets there. And then she does nothing. Nothing. It's a popcorn fart. And yeah, it's just the continued mistreatment of Harmony. I hate that because I love Harmony. And yeah, it's like a 2. I'm going to go 2. It's a 2. It's a number 2. And it's a forgettable episode that's in no way necessary to the overall storyline for this season. It's just meh. So, James.
Yes, sir.
On a scale of 1 to 5 little Dickie Wankers, where do you rate this episode? And tell me why I'm, once again, completely right.
I give this episode, you're going to love this, my friend. I give this episode 4 little Dickie Wankers.
Are you serious?
Yes, I like this episode. I think this episode is
I think this is our first disagreement of this season.
think this episode is it's the natural progression of the Buffy loves Spike storyline. I think
Buffy loves Spike.
Or Spike loves Buffy storyline. Because ironically, because of all the reasons you stated, you said it's very rapey, it's very stalky, and that's the only way you can take this Spike loves Buffy storyline, because Spike doesn't have a soul. He's not capable of love.
I disagree 100%. Because even Drusilla says, when Buffy says that, Drusilla says that's not true. We are capable of pretty amazing love, and I agree.
But it's a bastardized, selfish version of love. So I think this is just the natural progression of it, of what Spike is feeling for Buffy. So, yeah, I like it. You know, I think part of the reason I like it is because, it was clearly David Fury's response to the fans starting to romanticize Spike and Buffy too much, and him basically being like, this isn't a healthy relationship by any means. You know, Spike's not capable of that kind of feeling. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a 4. I like Drusilla. I know you don't. I like Drusilla. So having her pop back up over here from Angel, I enjoyed that. But yeah, overall, and you're absolutely right. It has absolutely nothing to do with the main plot of this season. It doesn't progress that storyline at all. But I think as part of this whole Spike is in love with Buffy thing, I think it's a good episode, and I enjoy it. So for me, it's a 4.
All right. Well, it's okay to be wrong, as we've yeah, okay, that's cool. Whatever. I don't know you. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Just I hated it. So hey, come to think of it, if you go to BuffyRevisited.com, did you know that you'll get a full smorgasbord of links to all of our shiznizzle, including our email address, which is BuffyRevisited@gmail.com. You'll even get a link to our YouTube page where you can watch, check this out, this very episode right now as it's happening. You're listening to me right now. Okay?
Yeah, that's fucking mind-blowing, dude.
Yeah, it's basically my brain can't handle it. I'm going to kill myself.
That's like disruption in the space-time continuum type shit.
Yeah, it's Inception up the ass.
Right. That's like there's a picture of me and my siblings and I just faded away out of it type shit.
Yeah. It's bonkers, but listen, that's the kind of shit the revisitors bring to you, okay?
You're welcome, people.
How we roll. But yeah, you can use any of those links to, contact us, leave us comments, tell us to fuck off, explain to us like why you listen to us, knowing how fucked up we are. Like, I really want to know that.
Yes, please.
Like, why
I'm curious as well. Because do you need someone to talk to?
Yeah, is everything
okay?
Yeah.
Are you all right? Are you okay in here?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Are you okay in here?
There you go.
Are you okay in here?
Yep. Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah. So, no, I would like to know why people listen to this insanity. But anyway, James, you got any closing comments, thoughts, suggestions?
Nah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us this week, everyone. As always, next week we're going to be throating season 5, episode 15. I Was Made to Love You. We're gonna deep throat it.
Maybe you are.
I was made for
Made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me.
And I want to take my pants off on stage. What?
Huh?
Sorry. Anyway, with that being sung, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week. I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.